I'm nervous. I'm nervous to share these numbers. I'm nervous to talk about how much I made here. And I got this question and I don't know what to say. So grand total for the whole year of 2024, I made. Okay, that's on. We're doing this. Doing the damn thing. So today we're going to talk about how much I made on my first year monetized on YouTube. So a while back, I did post a video about how much I made in the first 30 days fully monetized on YouTube. And I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous to even post that. I was really nervous to even share the numbers, talk about it. I mean, our whole lives were taught not to talk about how much money we make. And here I was telling you exactly how much I made. And I saw that you were also going through this journey of trying to become monetized on YouTube. And I want to thank you. Thank you for searching up, hey, YouTube, how do I get monetized? And stumbling upon my video somehow. Thank you. Thank you for clicking. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this one. Thank you for being here today. In addition to that, I also made a video about my 3 months fully monetized on YouTube as well. Since then, there wasn't really much to report. But what I haven't talked about is the time I was partially monetized and what I made in the whole of 2024. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. I think it's really important to set up your expectations of what you may possibly make here on YouTube if this is something that you're really passionate about and you want to do in the future, so you can really see what those numbers are. It can be scary if someone's thinking of like, hey, I'm going to commit all my time, quit my job, and just do this YouTube thing and make it a career, and then they realize what those numbers really look like. So my goal here today is just to be as transparent as possible. And with that theme in mind, I had a memory actually come up on my phone today from exactly 2 years ago. I reached 90,000 views on YouTube, which is crazy because just like a week-ish ago, I reached 625,000 views here on YouTube. In 2 years, that's huge. I'm nervous. I'm nervous to share these numbers. I'm nervous to talk about how much I made here. But keep in mind that these numbers are before taxes, before business expenses, because you have to put money into this to make some money out of this. And it's all in Canadian dollars. I'm not going to do the conversions, but just keep those in mind. But just over a week ago, I posted over on YouTube on my community tab to ask me anything, literally anything. And I think it might have been a mistake to say literally ask me anything, because yes, I meant literally, but also I didn't mean literally. And I got this question and I don't know what to say. I'm not gonna lie. Originally, I thought it was my friend Kelly who sent me this. And so I asked him, did you ask a question about feet? What? On the Google form. If it was you, it's funny. If not, I want to die. I like how you instantly assume it was me. No, I did not. What was the question? And I send him this. That's hilarious. I love that guy. And that wasn't you? No, I'm as shocked as you. I'm dying. I'm dead. No, and in all honesty, I still 100% believe this is Kelly, but if it was somebody else, I'm sorry. And why? I do have a couple questions I actually do want to answer from the Google form. And thank you to everybody who submitted questions. I really do appreciate it. There was a lot more questions than I expected. I honestly only expected a handful. Putting this out there, I still only expected there to be a handful of questions. So my idea going forward is at the end of all my videos, I will be answering questions from this Q&A session. And in addition to that, I'm going to keep the Google forms in the description of all my videos. So if anybody wants to ask further questions so I could potentially answer them in future videos, please click the link and leave me your questions. It can be anonymous, so I have no idea who you are, or you can include your name. It's completely up to you. Again, there were so many to choose from, lots of good ones, lots of funny ones. So Travis chose 2, I chose 2, and we're just gonna roll with this. So Nicole asked, what would you do differently initially with content creation if you had to start all over again from scratch? Really good question, and I thought about the answer to this one for a long time, and I'm not gonna lie, I could do a whole video about this alone. There's so much to say, but I will just keep this short and sweet and just say the key points. So technically, I am starting over in a sense because I did start another channel, which is all about the Disney parks, lore, conspiracies, secrets, and that's over on the Malika Land channel. So lots of things I've learned from what I've done here on Malika Games, I'm applying over there. So it's very helpful. The biggest thing is to create more than you consume. I feel like a lot in my early days, I would make videos, but I would spend a lot more time watching content. And I think that's a big one that you have to really manage your time, especially if you're limited with your time between the whole process of creating your own content and spending that time to consume content. Yes, you need to consume content to figure out what's relevant, to figure out what's interesting in your niche, but you need to also create as well. And you need to be disciplined to do that. Discipline, very important. Another thing I wish I would have done differently is to not be afraid to pivot if something's not working well. I would record stuff like in order from like January to June, and I would edit it basically in order as I recorded it. I was like, oh, I can't edit that one because I haven't edited all these videos that I recorded back in January. I would have a lot of fun playing the game, and I would think it had a lot of potential to be a video, and then over time I realized that things weren't working. But since I already made the recordings and they're already on my desktop, I thought I had to make them into videos, but there was a lot of things I still would like edit and post and make into a video because I felt like I had to, which is silly. Like I didn't want to like waste it. I don't know. The key is if you see that something's not working or it's not performing well or it's just not doing well in general, scrap it. Scrap the whole idea. You don't have to finish it. You don't have to complete a 100-hour game just to have a check mark that you completed it. If it's not doing well, just stop. And the things that are doing well, like really focus in and ask yourself why and, continue to recreate that. I mean, that's obvious, but I feel a lot of people still miss that. Another thing that I missed at the beginning is to find a niche. I thought I found a niche because I was like, as so many people are, I'm gonna be a variety gamer. I'm gonna play what I like and I'll play a variety of things. And the reality is that doesn't work until you're big and you can play whatever you want and people will watch you no matter what. But I think it's important to find a niche, and the niche doesn't necessarily have to be a specific game. It can be a game genre, but try and narrow that down and focus that as much as you possibly can. Because if somebody finds you on one game that you're playing, they're most likely going to be interested in games that are similar to that. Final thing I want to say is just take advice from people who are doing better than you and stop listening to the advice from people who have nothing to show for it. A lot of people will say, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this, and this is how you should pivot, and this is how you should change, and this is what you should do. And if they have no track record or nothing to prove what they say to be true, don't listen to them. So Bam Games, Scott asks, over the time that you have done YouTube, how have your friends and family reacted to it all? Do they support you and hope you're successful, or do they just see it as a hobby? This is actually a funny question because the reality is I don't talk about it much. And I know that sounds really weird, but I think about it this way. For me, YouTube is like a job. It's like a business. Yes, it's a really fun business and I really enjoy doing it. And I don't feel that burden like a normal job might give me. YouTube is totally different, but the work and the effort you put into it, I think it's a lot more work and effort than a job. It's just you don't see it that way because you're having a lot of fun doing it, and that's important. But for me personally, I like to keep my personal life and my work life separate. So yes, there are people close to me who know what I'm doing, who very much support what I'm doing. But if I were to go to like a Christmas dinner and people are like, hey, Mel, how are things going? How's life? And I'll be like, same old, just working lots, And I would say like 80% of them think I'm just talking about my full-time job. And then 20% of them know what I'm actually talking about. But I just don't like actively talk about it. And I also think that's really important because I'm sure you can think of a friend or family member who talks constantly about their work. And at the end of the day, I'm sure you don't give a shit. Unless you're super interested in their line of work, which majority of the time you're not. But like I mentioned, the people who are really close to me, they know what I'm doing. They really support what I'm doing. They'll bring it up and ask like, how's it going and everything like that. And I know a lot more people in my personal life have been more so watching my Malika Land content because they're interested in stuff like that. I'm talking about theme parks. I'm talking about Universal. I'm talking about Disney. That's more interesting to them. As games, not so much. And I totally get that. I prioritize YouTube a lot. I will literally say, no, I'm busy that day because I'm working. And for some people, they'll know, oh, you're working on YouTube. And for other people, they'll be like, that's weird. She's doing her full-time job on a Saturday night, but who am I to say anything? This was actually an anonymous question. What made you want to stream in the first place? This is complicated to answer. I won't rant on too long about this. When I was in high school in like my early 20s, I would game a lot with my brother, and he said I was funny. He said I had potential to stream. I didn't know what streaming was. I had absolutely no idea. He told me about Twitch and convinced me to stream on there, and this was back in like December of 2017. And I did it, and I did it for about a month. I hit affiliate pretty quick, and so I was able to make a little bit of money on there, but I quickly experienced the bad parts about being a woman on the internet, live, and putting yourself out there, and that anybody could come to your chat and say whatever the heck they want, and I wasn't prepared for that in any capacity. And so I just really started to dread it and hate it and not want to do it. Simple as that. I wasn't ready for it. I didn't know what I was getting into. I knew nothing about how streaming worked, and it just kind of like scared me. The short version, it scared me. And then after that, I was watching a lot of Smitty's videos, and I got really inspired in wanting to make like YouTube videos. Like, hey, I can make content like this, and I don't have to be live streaming. Like, maybe I should just record my gameplay and edit it and make videos. Like, that could be really interesting. So it wasn't until December of 2020 when I was like, okay, you know what? I'm actually gonna sit down and seriously do this YouTube thing, which I thought at the time I was seriously doing it, but I had no idea what I was actually in for. But from December of 2020 to February of 2023, all I was doing was recording videos, editing, and posting them on YouTube. And my good friend Kelly convinced me to stream. It was kind of like, hey, you're playing the games anyways, you're recording them anyways, like why not stream it, also record it, and then edit them down to your YouTube videos as you're doing anyways. So I was like, you know what? Yeah, maybe you're right. I've been more involved with like being in communities on Twitch, kind of seeing the good side of streaming, and it wasn't actually a terrible experience for everybody. So I was like, hey, maybe you're right. And I think I'm at a point in my life that even if crappy situations happen while I'm live streaming, I feel like maybe I could handle it, but I'm gonna take it slow and steady. So I started streaming over on Twitch in February, and by November, I was over streaming on YouTube. I was so close to being fully monetized. I just needed those watch time hours and a couple hundred subscribers, I think, at the time. And so I thought if I stream over there, it'd be a lot easier to get those watch time hours. And I've been streaming here on YouTube ever since, and I honestly really enjoy it. There's a lot of benefits and a lot of reasons I'm still here streaming, and I haven't gone back to Twitch, but again, that's a topic for a different video. I have another anonymous question. It's, who's your number one waifu in any game you've played? And honestly, at first I didn't really know the answer to this, but I realized it's Monica. It's literally Monica. When I was playing Doki Doki Literature Club, I did choose Yuri, like for my main girl or whatever, through the storyline and everything, but at the end of the day, it was Monica who made me really obsessed with that game. Her character really captivated me. That was my first experience of playing a visual novel. I didn't realize how much of a psychological horror it would become, and I really enjoyed it. I also think that Monica gave me this attention that I so desperately needed for so long, even though it was a little bit toxic and she may or may not want to kill me at times. I don't even know. But I was kind of obsessed with her. There were so many more questions I wanted to answer, and there was just too many. But going forward in my future videos, I will answer at least one question at the end of every video. So please leave more questions below in the Google Forms. If you asked one before and it wasn't answered yet, it will most likely be answered in my future videos. Okay, so this is my analytics page, and it shows the total everything of 2024. In my previous videos, I've never talked about the money before I was fully monetized. So I was fully monetized at the very end of March, but I was partially monetized from the end of January until the end of March. There was some income I made during that time. I did do a follow-up video, so that included my income for April, May, and June. So basically everything from July to the end of the year as well, I've never talked about. So we're gonna briefly look over those numbers today and go from there. So in the full year of 2024, I got 348,711 views on my channel, which is huge. That is more than half of the total views I have on my channel, and I've been technically doing this now for 4 years. And I say technically because there were breaks. There were very long breaks in between there. But I will say, other than literally times of life when you're sick or like on vacation, I don't know, I didn't take any breaks. There was none. And even when I was sick or on vacation, I'm sure I was still thinking about YouTube and planning content ideas. But you can see more at the end of the year here. I've been consistently getting about 1,000-ish views a day, which has been pretty phenomenal to say the least. Also, in the whole year of 2024, I got 6 8.8 thousand watch time hours. Keep in mind though, the watch time hours that are listed here would also include your watch time hours from shorts, which don't count towards monetization. So like part of me can say, oh, I got like way more than the monetization hours I needed in just this last year, but I don't know how many of that is literally from my shorts and how many would be from actually qualifying videos. You know, it doesn't really work exactly like that. Regardless, a lot of watch time hours overall between shorts, videos, and live streams. I gained 816 subscribers just in 2024. I believe I started 2024 with about 900 subscribers. So that's crazy. Finally, the moment that everyone's been waiting for. How much money did I make in 2024? Well, let's look. How much did I make by each month? In the month of January 2024, I made a grand total of $32.04. In the month of February, so this was still pre-full monetization, I was only partially monetized at this time, I made a grand total of $125.07. In March, I did have some issues with getting my monetization fully processed because I just reached the threshold to get my first payout. Google was requiring me to submit some more documents. Things were getting confused, let's just say. So it did delay getting all of that process on that end. And then my YouTube partnership went on pause for a period of time as well. It was frustrating to say the least. But during that month, I only earned $7.45. And this is again pre-full monetization. Once that all got cleared up, I was finally gaining some ad revenue. For the month of April, I made $59.03. For the month of May, which May 1st, as you can see, this big spike here on the left is my birthday, I made a total of $253.60, with literally majority of that literally being on the date of my birth. The month of June, I made a total of $57.66. The month of July, I made a total of $59.43, very similar. The month of August, I made $48.93. I really just saw a very consistent pattern. Again, there was a little bit of variance between month by month at this point, but it wasn't enough to really like make a video and report on and talk about my earnings because it was just really similar month by month. The month of September, I made $69.34. The month of October, I made $59.83. But the month of November, I made $81.66. And the month of December, I made $107.09. So grand total for the whole year of 2024, I made $961.53. Again, I have to pay taxes on this, and this is in Canadian dollars. I learned a lot these last 12 months. It was quite the year. It was literally a roller coaster of a year, and it's crazy to think that 2024 is now complete. My first year monetized has come to a complete. I learned more in 2024 than I have ever with content creation on YouTube at all, period. It was the biggest growth I've experienced. It was the most strides I've gone through. I have made strategic decisions for my channel just within the last couple months even that me 2 or 3 years ago wouldn't even believe that I would have made today. I even started a second channel, Malika Land, where I applied a lot of the knowledge I learned here on Malika Games. It's really challenging though to like manage 2 channels and manage videos and content and be uploading consistently on 2 channels plus streaming. So I had to pivot a lot of different ways to make all of that work, but I'm still very proud of Malika Land. Within, I believe, like 3 months, I got about 35,000 views on that channel, which to me, I was shocked by. I didn't know what it was going to be like starting brand new, starting fresh on a channel. I literally remember my dad asking, like, why are you posting these videos on a different channel? Like, you're making money on your main channel. Like, why don't you just post the videos there? And I'm like, Dad, that's not how YouTube works. But going forward, I do plan to stream a lot more consistently here on YouTube, which I didn't expect. My main thing was never going to be streaming. Streaming was just like, oh, I'm recording it anyways, I might as well also stream. I've been really enjoying it. I've been really enjoying talking to you. I mean, originally my plan was eventually one day I'd go back to Twitch and stream there, which for the time being, I have no intentions to do so, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. But I will mention that one of the questions I did get on the Google forums was about the comparison between my Twitch earnings and my YouTube earnings, I feel like that could actually be its own video in this how much I made on YouTube, how much I made as a content creator series. So I will be working on that in the future. If you have any questions or anything that you are interested in, I'll be as transparent as I possibly can be. Please either leave them in the comments below or leave them on that Google Forms. And you know, it could be its own video. It could be something I just answer in a Q&A segment at the end of my normal videos. But anyways, thanks guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and take it easy.
I know you told your friend you're not okay, and tell me what's wrong and why you never said you felt that way. And guess you're trying to stay strong and fake a smile until I look away. But I've known you too long, it hurts